Hello everyone, my name is Meera K. I secured All India rank 6 in Civil Service Examination 2020. My optional for Civil Services was Sociology. In all my 4 attempts, I used Sociology as my optional. Coming to why I chose Sociology as my optional, I'm a mechanical engineering graduate. So mechanical engineering was the first thought that I came when I had to pick an optional. But I started my preparation in December 2017 and I hardly had 6 months to prepare for the next prelims, and taking mechanical engineering was a risky option because the syllabus is very vast and you cannot cover it in some 3 to 4 months. So I consulted some seniors who told me that topics like subjects like sociology have a very small and concise syllabus and you can pick it. So that was the initial decision to pick sociology as an optional. But once I started studying it, once I saw the syllabus and started comprehending the discipline, I understood that it's a very dynamic topic and it's a very interesting discipline, and that various issues that are covered in sociology will come handy once I get into the service. Coming to my sociology preparation strategy, I took classes from a private coaching institute in Trivandrum. Because I never had any background in sociology and I'm from a science background, it took me some time to acclimatize to the discipline, to understand the demand of the discipline and to understand how to study it. But once I understood it, sociology was a very rewarding experience and a very enriching experience. And another important value that sociology added to my preparation was it helped me with the GS papers, especially the GS1 and GS4 papers, and also in some aspects of GS3 and GS2 also. So sociology is a discipline that, again, in your essay paper also you can use the content that you have studied from sociology. So sociology helps add value to all the other main syllabus, but again there are many other optionals too that provide the same advantage. So you can choose and pick your optional according to your aptitude and your interest. Again, when anybody chooses their optional, the first thing that I feel is that you should have an interest in it and an aptitude in it. If not, every optional might not work for everybody. So just because an optional is high scoring or easy to study, just because of that, please don't pick it. Only pick it if you have a genuine interest in it. Coming to the resources that I used, my primary material was the material that I got from my coaching institute because it had a syllabus wise breakdown of all the major topics. But this again in 2018 I exclusively referred to this resource and the current affairs. But in 2020 I added my own personalized notes to it, which I felt have tremendously worked in my favor and has enriched my answer writing. So I used to supplement the topics that are there in the class notes or the coaching material, and I used to add notes from IGNOU, especially the BA and MA material of IGNOU Sociology, NCERT material, current affairs, especially the editorials. You might find some articles written by the major thinkers, mainly for the paper 2. So such kind of information that you get, that was supplemented along with the basic material that I used from the coaching institute. Then another website which I have used very extensively is thoughtco.in, which again I don't know if it's very popular with the aspirants or not, but I found this website very useful. Every sociology topic I would Google. For example, if I wanted to know about phenomenology, I would say phenomenology Thoughtco, and I would get a very well written article on phenomenology, and it would be like exactly what you need to write an answer on phenomenology. So this is one website that I used very frequently. Coming to other resources that I used, for paper 1 I refer to Haralambos Orange book. I didn't read it cover to cover. There are certain topics that are very well explained in Haralambos. For example, the stratification systems, poverty, etc. So for this I refer to Harold Lambos. And for paper 2, I read a book on contemporary India by Meera K. Again, it's not very syllabus related or something, but it gave a lot of perspectives, and it has a lot of articles that are written by very eminent sociologists, so that was very useful for me. So these are two external resources that I use other than my coaching material, my personalized note, and IGNOU materials, IGNOU BA and MA materials. So this was my major resources. Along with this, I used to make sociology topic related notes out of newspapers. Any article that I saw, I used to link it with the syllabus, and I used to make a separate note out of it for sociology other than my current affairs notes. I think it's very important that you have your own notes for your optional because it helps you in two different ways. One thing is that for every topic you might have some 2 or 3 pointers which are very exclusive to you and which you can use in your answer writing. For example, if you have a topic of industrialization or urbanization, you have your own notes for it. Any question related to it, you can use the same thinkers or the same perspectives and you can write your answers. Again, when you have your own notes of the whole syllabus keywords, it helps you in the week between your GS4 paper and your optional paper. Nowadays, the examination pattern is such that you have 5 days which you can use very well to revise all the topics in sociology. So, having your own set of notes will help you do this revision very quickly and very precisely. So, it's very important to have your own set of notes. Coming to the topics that I found difficult, sociology in general is very easy to understand and comprehend, but the problem with sociology is that you have to bring in a lot of thinker perspectives and a lot of theories. So again, especially because I am coming from a science background, I didn't have a grasp of how to write the answers or how to bring in thinkers and theories to every answer. So this was a challenge that I faced throughout the paper initially, but once I got a hang of it, it was resolved and I didn't face that difficulty anymore. Another topic that I faced a bit difficulty was in paper 2. There are some topics such as planning, urbanization, etc., for which it's not that easy to find sociological thinkers or relevant perspectives. So I had to struggle a bit to get materials for it. But other than that, in general, it's very easy to comprehend and very easy to learn for anybody. Why one should choose sociology as optional? Again, I would say every optional has its own set of advantages and disadvantages. Even sociology has it. The major advantage of sociology is that again, we are not aiming just to clear this examination, we are all aiming to work in the society. So if you are aware of the social conditions, the issues in society and the major challenges that are lying ahead of you, I think it will really help you once you get into the service. That is the primary advantage. The second advantage is in an examination perspective, sociology is traditionally a good scoring paper. You will not get a very low mark. You might not also get a very high mark that you get in typical science or language literature papers, but you will get a decent score in sociology, and the syllabus is very concise, so you can study it and revise it in some 4 to 5 months. And again, another advantage of sociology is that it helps you with the other papers. As I said, in GS1 we have exclusive Indian society as a topic, and it will also add value to your ethics answers, your essay, and even in your interview. If you have sociology as optional, a lot of social issues are already covered through your syllabus itself. So that is another advantage. Disadvantage of sociology, I wouldn't say this is a disadvantage, but one challenge, again as I said, was to bring in thinkers and theories. Especially paper 2 of sociology is very dynamic. So this year also all the major hot topics, for example the farm bills, the national education policy, the labor code, etc., everything was asked in paper 2, and when it's a very dynamic paper, it's very difficult to bring in the thinkers, or it's very difficult to connect it to syllabus and write an answer if you have not practiced answer writing. So this is again a challenge of sociology. Another problem that you might face is that you will not score a very high mark. For example, something that you might score in mathematics or physics, such high scores I have not seen anybody getting, but again you can't say, again, if you have written your answers well, you might even score well. But yeah, these are some issues that you might face when you've taken sociology as your optional. Again, another advantage that I forgot to mention is that because it's a very popular optional and it's taken by a lot of people, you will have a lot of resources and a lot of people that you can seek out to understand the process of how to do sociology. Coming to diagrams and other images that you can use in sociology, I didn't use a lot of figures or diagrams, but yes, whenever I got a chance, I tried to add some hub and spoke diagram or a flow chart wherever I can. And again, for paper 2, I used a lot of maps. For example, there was this question on green revolution. So I drew a map and highlighted the areas where green revolution was successful. And there was this question on migration and trends in migration recently. So I drew a map of India and highlighted the areas from where the migrants are coming and the popular destination of migrants within internal migrants within India. So such maps and diagrams you can use. Again, there is no compulsion that I've not, from what I know, I don't think it's very essential to enrich your answer, but if you can add a map or a small diagram, it will make your answer look very fresh and presentable. And how to write an answer also, again I've seen people writing in points, writing in paragraphs, etc. I used to write in average paragraphs, some 3-4 line paragraphs I used to write the answer. But again, I've seen somebody suggesting that you do not write crisp, small one-liner points for optional like sociology, which is a more humanities related discipline. So I don't know if that is a thing, but you don't have to take a risk there. You can use small paragraphs which will highlight your answer. Again, depending on whether you know the answer or whether you are trying to analyze it and trying to make an answer, depending on that also you can change your answer writing style. I didn't have a particular timetable to do my optional. This time in 2020, we got the prelims extended by 3 months because of the pandemic. So I used that extra time that I got to join a answer writing, especially for paper 2, because again, as I mentioned earlier, paper 2 is very dynamic and you have to learn how to link the current affairs with the syllabus topics and bring in theories and perspectives. So I did a paper 2, exclusive paper 2 test series just before the prelims, and again after the prelims it was very easy for me to revise everything again, and as I mentioned earlier, I had a very concise crisp note out of the syllabus, so I could revise it some 1 to 2 times between the prelims and mains, the gap between prelims and mains. And again, because of the short notes that I have, after the GS4 paper again I could revise it once, so that is enough. I think we can stop studying for optional some 1 or 1.5 months prior to the prelims and devote it exclusively for prelims, and you can continue it after the prelims. Again, how you study it, how much time you spend, etc. depends on your level of interest and your aptitude in the subject. So if it's your background discipline and you're very thorough with it, you can spend that extra time on your GS papers. But if it's a completely new discipline or if you're switching optionals, etc., you can spend a bit more time on it. So that's all about my sociology preparation. I hope I've covered all the areas, and thank you for watching. Thank you so much.